The structure of the imagination. The imagination should be taken seriously as a fundamental facet of what it means for a human being to live, regardless of their age, their amount of authority, their responsibilities. Our imaginations are very, very powerful in regards to the human experience, the internal experience. At the very bottom, the imagination is capable of creating things that are physically impossible. The imagination can influence the central nervous system to a point where physical changes in a human body can be made based on what someone is imagining. Then you get into things like psychedelics and mental illness, and you understand that imagination has a huge role in the subconscious development of delusional thinking, maybe even hallucinations. I'm not 100% sure about that. But we are given this imagination, and we don't even become aware of it until our late childhood years, when our parents tell us to get real and that we're going to have to do the dishes or whatever it is. Our imaginations are the real world. It's our first place that we exist as individuals. And then society, our friends and stuff. Don't turn your imagination off, because it's a part of who you are. And it can bring creative ideas. And I'd be interested in learning what parts of the brain light up when people fantasize and daydream. But the thing about imagination is that even without words, there seems to be a structure, a storyline. It's not very often that I think about something and I don't know what it is that I'm thinking about. So I think it partially has to be powered by energy, and it is definitely influenced by things like desire, and influenced by reality as well, as in events that happen in life. But when you ask, well, what is the purpose of a one-way system that can take input and generate things, but those things can have no physical interaction with the system that input the data? Well, that's up for you to decide. Because when you're a kid and you live in your imagination, it's just play. When you're an adult, you realize that you can replicate things you imagine with art, with sports, jokes, music, and it's very important to not cage your imagination first and to feed it second. If we weren't able to imagine things, there would be a very, 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 very slow development along the human timeline. Because when you see a black sports car with bats painted all over it, and big old wheels and guns coming out the side of it, flying down the road, if you couldn't imagine anything, Batman wouldn't be a such a symbol. Batman wouldn't be, when you see the sundown, you imagine it's going to get cold. You're prepared for it. So not only is imagination a vital tool to help us predict the future, it's also a way for us to regulate our mood and our happiness levels. Because if you live in a state of self-denial where imagination is childish, nonsensical, and irrelevant, you're not going to be happy. But if you let yourself imagine things, you'll understand yourself better. Self-acceptance. And if you are quixotic and partake in imaginatory activities, you might find something even way better. What I was just thinking as the sun is rising, can't see it with this camera. Feeding your imagination. I'm having a short-term memory loss moment here. Hold on.